a young man that had a sensational rookie year. And I'm curious, Donovan, as you watch this game in this building, a level to which you aspire to be, how much that you go back to being that kid that was just at Louisville last year and a young man that hadn't even played in the league yet, when you see what these guys are doing at this level and what you learned from what you saw tonight?
Man, I learned a lot, watching these guys, watching Bron, watching KD, watching Steph, all these guys compete. KD stepped up huge. He basically took the game over in his hands. His guys weren't really hitting shots, and he took it upon himself to go out there and have a crazy performance, and that's what killers in this league do. And that last shot was incredible, but the amount of guts and the confidence he had to take that shot is what's really impressed me.
When you and I talked way back before the All-Star game, and I asked you about guys like Westbrook and LeBron coming to you, and I said it felt like they were in your ear because they wanted you to know that they knew you knew, if that makes any sense, that they saw something in you. And yet, as you look at the level that they get to, where do you feel like you have to get better and the steps you need to take to get on that type of level?
I realize everything I'm doing now, I got to do 10 times harder, work much for sure, just to get to this point, let alone win. I got a guy like LeBron who's been there 8 times in a row. Just to get there once is a hard feat and a hard task. And, I'm just here just getting the experience, kind of picking guys' brains that I've talked to on both teams and just ask little questions. I've spent a lot of time with Vince Carter and Dominique Wilkins, and asking them questions as well. Just trying to find ways to get better on the floor and just find ways to get better mentally and things to look for in order to get to this point.
I'm just glad that a young man like you recognizes an OG like Dominique and knows that there's so much you can learn beyond just the dunk contest. But yes. Take me back to Durant. When you see a performance like this, what is it that you see out of him that even you shake your head at as a guy who was doing it in the playoffs not that many weeks and months ago?
With him, it's more so he realized that nobody on the floor can guard him. When guys get into that certain mode and that mindset, it can become scary, and for him to go out there and feel like he's unstoppable, that's probably one of the scariest feelings as a defender, having to guard that.
He is, though, isn't he? He truly is. I mean, given his height and given his range and given his handle, he truly seems to me, Donovan, to be an unstoppable offensive force.
Yeah, he's a 7-foot guard. What can he do shooting from half court? It's tough. It's tough to defend. Guys play great defense and he's still hitting shots. And that's just a sensational performance for him to have tonight in a big, decisive game. And, the way Cleveland came out originally at the beginning, you kind of felt like the weight was shifting. But they stayed the course. And I told my little sister when I was sitting next to her, I said, just make sure that you watch. They can do all the yelling and screaming they want, but they're going to keep it close. And if they keep it close, then it's going to be a good game.
You've been on the brink in the playoffs this year in your first year. You moved on, and you also know what it's like to be in this position where Cleveland finds itself. If you can put yourself in their locker room, having just lost the way they lost in a game where they led at home by double digits, what is the toughest part, Donovan, about trying to summon the emotional and physical energy to be ready to play Friday?
One thing I respect about Kobe Bryant, I watch a lot of his interviews throughout the playoffs. And one thing he says, you can lose by 40, you can lose on a game winner. It doesn't matter. It's on to the next game. And I think LeBron playing in 8 straight, he's going to will his guys. Kevin Love playing in his 4 straight. And JR as well, and Tristan, those guys who have been there are going to tell their guys, look, this is another loss. We got to continue to keep improving and keep working, because, everybody else is counting them out. So why should we count ourselves out? That should be their mindset, and just go out there and take it one game at a time and understanding that the loss is a loss. It happened, but you got another one on Friday.
Donovan, thanks again for the time. I would tell you to enjoy your summer, but knowing you'll probably spend most of it in the lab working on things. I hope you find some time to relax somewhere along the way, because before you know it, you'll be back out there playing again, and we look forward to that. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
SportsCenter on the Road is confidently presented by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans.
All right, when we continue, we expect that we will visit with Kevin Durant, Draymond Green. Might be Draymond first. We're happy to talk to whomever, whenever. And that will be right after this